You're here because you want to understand how I took businesses that were not working before to now having a business that has over 10,000 users growing at 40% month over month with customers across the world. Well, I want to share 5 main things that I did this time round compared to all the previous times I've tried that ended up causing this to scale. Now, before I jump on board, I'd really appreciate if you could gently smash that like button and subscribe, because I'm going to share a lot of content about how I've managed to scale multiple businesses to 7 figures, sometimes even 8 figures across the world. I've had my own exit to a multi-million-dollar business and how I've also scaled my current business. All right, now let's start off with option number 1. Now, the first thing that I did, as counterintuitive it is focus on a niche. Now, what I mean by focusing on a niche is going ahead and finding what other people are doing in a broad spectrum. That means you're always going to have a competitor. If you think there isn't one, you're lying to yourself. So go find a competitor that is doing a bunch of things and then find one particular niche problem that they're particularly solving for, and they're not doing that good of a job because that's just not their focus. They're better off doing everything together. Take that niche, understand the value of that particular niche, that particular subset of that problem they're solving for. How much money are people currently willing to pay for that problem? Where exactly can you find the customers? Because that's really important, because however big a problem is, if you do not know how to find or reach to that particular customer, who cares? Because in the end, growth is what matters, right? And then the other thing is trying to understand exactly what the customer needs to be solved immediately and how quickly you can deliver that value for them. Because in the end, if you deliver something that takes them 10 times more in time, even though if it's cheaper, people will always prefer something that is faster than something that is cheaper. That's why Uber Eats exists. That's why, delivery and express delivery always exists. That's the principle of how we work as human beings. So focusing on the niche really helped me dial down exactly what I wanted to work towards. In this particular case, I'm talking about a product called SmartWriter, which uses AI to personalize cold emails, so people end up getting a higher return rate and high response rate for any outbound that they're doing. So what we did is we took the concept of AI copywriting and essentially found a niche, which was basically outbound sales. Now let's talk about the second thing that I did that helped us scale to a set number of users. The second thing that we did, and that I'm most happy about, is SEO. Now, for those who are aware or not aware, SEO is search engine optimization. Is basically the nits and bits that you do to ensure that your content or your blog ranks really high on Google. So when someone types in a certain keyword, maybe you want to rank cold emailing or growth or something that is relevant, you end up showing up on that first top 2 position. The principle behind SEO, and as to why a lot of people shy away from it, is because it's a very long-term game. Now, some of the things that I did almost 6-7 months ago are only just now paying the return. Now, if you look at it in a world where we're VC funded, where we need to run really fast, that's an extremely poor return of investment. However, content marketing is by far the best way for you to grow your business and scale it, because there's no way you can match that when people are paying ads or trying to grow that in quote unquote non-organic ways. This is an easy way, a sustainable way, and a way that sort of scales logarithmically, because as you write more content, it becomes cheaper for you to acquire customers as time goes, because of the natural compounding effect of content and SEO. Now, I want to break down SEO into 5 simple things. It's a big topic, but I want to break it down into 5 simple things that you can sort of put into focus right now and work towards growing your business or your blog. The first thing is creating good content. And as difficult or as easy or dumb as that sounds, good content basically is content that you think people will read and people are actually searching for, which comes under the principle of search intent. You'll see a lot of people talk about that and scream about that a bit, especially marketers. So search intent is basically what is the intent of the customer when they're trying to land on your website. For example, you can write a comparison post between competitor A and competitor B, but do you really want that to show up when someone is searching for what is the best way to grow my business? Because I don't care about a competitor ranking when I'm just trying to figure out how to grow my business. Rather, what I'd want is for you to explain to me how I can grow my business and then plug in my tool over there, showing how you can exactly grow your business using our software. The second thing you need to focus on is essentially backlinks. Now, there's a big myth about this, and I'm not going to go too deep into it, but backlinks are absolutely necessary. It's Google's way of signaling that your particular blog or your content actually has authority to it. All a backlink is when another website links to your particular website. Doesn't sound too crazy, and it isn't, but it goes a lot deeper than that, because essentially what that does is think of Google as a popularity contest. Imagine when a highly reputed person writes your recommendation versus someone you don't know or care about writes your recommendation. Now, if imagine you're applying for a job as a doctor, if you get a recommendation from another highly respected doctor, there's a lot more value to that in getting the job versus if you get a recommendation from perhaps a cook. Obviously cooks are valuable, but not in perspective of you getting a job as a doctor. So similarly, so you want to make sure other blogs that are in that niche, speaking about a similar topic or around that area, are linking back to you and linking back to content that you've created. Now, the third thing that I want to speak about is something called topical authority. Now, there's a big myth around whether this concept of backlinks that I mentioned are important and necessary. Now, they might not be. Now, what topical authority is, it's basically your way of creating content around a particular topic. Maybe you're talking about marketing and growth, and you're going to cover every sort of corner around that particular topic to signal to Google that you have basically written whatever is necessary to be written about on this particular topic. They can find every solution that basically matters to that particular problem. Now, the fourth thing, that I want to talk about is around the concept of topical authority that comes from something called clustering. Clustering is basically a simple process where you go ahead and find out one massive piece of content that you want to write. Maybe let's call it email marketing. Very vast topic. Then you want to find different topics around that particular pillar piece that is called, like email marketing for SaaS businesses, email marketing for e-commerce businesses, email marketing for offline businesses, so on and so forth, and basically become an authority in that area. So you're creating a topical cluster on that, and that falls in the previous principle of topical authority. And the last thing is writing SEO optimized content. And what I mean by that is I would recommend one tool over here. It's called phrase.io. What that does is it goes ahead and analyzes the top 10 blogs that are ranking for the particular keyword that you want to rank for. And it's going to analyze basically word clusters, saying what are the words other people are mentioning in their blogs, what's causing them to rank as a top 10. Obviously, because they're ranking there, it means they're doing something good. So what's causing them to rank there? What exactly are they doing? What header tags they're using? What questions are they asking? What statistics are they putting there? All of that research is done for you in like a quick win, so you don't need to worry about almost any problem that you end up facing over here. So that's a win-win for you in terms of using this tool to go ahead and gain value in SEO. The third thing I want to go ahead and mention is basically email outreach. Email outreach goes ahead and beats any algorithm that's in the market. You don't need to worry about pretty much anything that goes on with respect to Facebook algorithms, TikTok algorithms, and so on and so forth. What you're doing is using straightforward copywriting to go ahead and reach out to your target audience. You can find out these target audiences using directories and listicles, and LinkedIn is a great way to go ahead and get email addresses. Now, I'll show you and tell you very quickly how you can create a killer email that can go ahead and get you your first 5, 10, 50, 20, 30, even 100 customers, right? The way you do it is you start off with a straightforward killer email. 5 simple things you need to do. First name, create the personalized intro line. You can use SmartWriter for that, do it at scale. Go ahead and pitch about what your product does as an outcome of what they will achieve, not about what you can do, just about what they can achieve. Massive social proof, talk about how equivalent competitors in their niche are also achieving success using your product, and simply ask them for a catch up or a link, or basically to do a quick call. And everything less than 140 to 160 words maximum. Make sure everything is chunked out and you're good to go. All right. And that's pretty much all there is to email outbound. That is what you would do to go ahead and acquire honestly one of the highest value customers using cold emailing. The fourth thing that we did to ensure that we grew at the scale we did is every feature we built was focused on outcome and revenue and growth. So what I mean by outcome, revenue, and growth is ensuring that every feature we built was not something that was a nice to have feature that felt cool or something that was nice and unique. The outcome was revenue, and it was focused on the growth of our business. And also, without a doubt, focus on helping our customers grow. Because just because we grow in revenue, that does not mean that the feature is going to actually help us grow the business, right? We need to go ahead and actually create features that in the end see higher value for our customers, and as a result of higher value for our customers, we end up seeing growth ourselves. So putting our customer absolutely at the forefront of this and understanding what will make them pay us more, stay with us longer, and maybe increase the net value of how much they provide to our business is what we put at the core. And the second thing we did is we ensured to find out if this feature is even sellable. Every single feature went through a rigorous process of understanding how we can actually market this. How can we actually position the product to get more customers, more engagement, and more value as a result of having this feature. Not just a feature we built and then throw that in the gully. Every single feature had a net value attached to it. And the way we did that is basically breaking down Sean Ellis's method of ICE, which is impact, confidence, and ease. What is the impact of the feature that we're going to create? What is the confidence that it's actually going to achieve the success that we think is going to achieve, or the impact? And how easy is it to implement? Or sometimes people go with effort. How hard is it for us to implement? And then have everything scaled out in 0 to 9 or 0 to 10. Have a simple matrix, and you'll easily find out how easy it is for us to prioritize features, find out the ones we actually want to build, and get rid of the ones that we just can't build. Sometimes it's easy to build a really cool feature that's high value, but will take us 3 months, versus a feature that might not be as high value, but have an immediate win for us. And then you can go ahead and find out which one's better based upon your revenue, your bootstrap, the success strategy that you're in right now, and just your growth phase. The fifth thing that we did that worked extremely well, and you should do too, is the easiest quote unquote growth hack, is working with educational growth. Now, what I mean by that is not content creation, that's obviously important, but educational growth is finding creators who are selling courses around the niche of the problem that you are already solving, right? So if you're solving a problem around email marketing, go ahead and find people who are selling courses on how to go ahead and become a better email marketer, because you've already got a warm audience, you've got someone who trusts that particular creator, and you just need to get them to review the product, even or just mention that in their course. You'll automatically see a high value return. It doesn't need to be people selling courses, it can be people also running incubators. That means actual educational boot camps. Try partner with them, because that's a great way for you to get your product at the forefront of this particular customer who's going to grow and blow up their business using your product as a fundamental part of their growth strategy, which means the stickiness increases, they stay with you longer, and they recommend your product more because it's attributional to their growth. So these are a few things that I did that helped me grow your business, and I'd love to know whether these are things that you've also done or something that you're going to do. Just leave a comment below with your ideas and your feedback as well. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one very, very soon.